What's up, everybody? It's Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, back again, bringing you another Community Battles match. This week, we have awbw versus Marith G 0083 in the house today. We are playing on 1 versus 1 Verdun. I'm sure if anybody here is playing in the Global League, they have played on 1 versus 1 Verdun at least one time. Had to have at least been one time, folks. This is a very popular map. This is a attack from the corners matchup. We have 3 bases, 1 airport, HQ. Not quite in the middle, but you know, it's getting pretty close. It's getting pretty close to the middle. But what is in the middle of this match is comm towers. We got comm towers in the center. We got tons and tons of road, lots of forest to hide. There is going to be some sneaky action going on this map. All right, so like I said, we have awbw and Marith G 0083 up in the house. I am gonna put our player profiles up there so you can take a look at that today. These 2 players, you know, they've been around a little bit. You've seen them, maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. I don't believe that I played Marith before, but I have played awbw. And, you know, it was a good match. Played them. Had a lot of fun doing it. So, it was a good one. So, today we also have our CO picks. We have a Hawke and a Sturm today. Ooh, battle for Black Hole Supremacy today, folks. We are going to get some damage going either globally or area effect. So, last time, I believe we actually covered a little battle with our friend Hawke there. As we know, Hawke will get that 10% firepower bonus to all of his units across the map, across the board. Everybody gets that bonus. Fantastic day-to-day ability. His Black Storm and Black Wave abilities will cause 1 HP and 2 HP damage globally, and heal him for the effects in the mount. So Hawke can be incredibly effective, folks, incredibly effective. And this is a tier 1 matchup, so this is the best of the best that's allowed in the Global League. Best of the best. Speaking of the best, we also have our second player here, which is Sturm. Ooh, the big baddie from Advanced Wars 1 and 2, folks. He's here in the Global League sometimes. You don't always see him, but sometimes he's there. So Sturm, opposite to his Advanced Wars 1 and 2 counterpart, is a little bit different when it comes to Advanced Wars by Web. He will actually get a base 80% firepower on all of his units, additionally gaining 20% defense, so he is incredibly effective at the stall game. He is able to move through terrain at 0 cost, so his recons, tanks, rockets, all those units, incredibly effective. They can be very, very, very fast. In addition to his day-to-day abilities, we also have the dreaded Meteor Strike, the bane of Advanced Wars campaign, folks. The bane of Advanced Wars campaign. The Meteor Strike will cause an area effect damage of either 4 HP or 8 HP. Now, depending on what it hits, it can be either incredibly effective, or it might just hit 1 stray unit and, you know, you won't get anything out of it. But, if you plan it out right, that Meteor Strike can be insanely effective. Now, both of these powers take a long time to charge. I believe Sturm's is a 10-star, Hawke's is a 9-star. So, we might be able to see the Black Storm before the Meteor Strike, but they both are coming. They're just going to be a little bit slow. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's go ahead, get into this match, and see how it plays out today. Alright, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to change awbw's color. We are going to change it to red fire today. Alright, so we are going to have a red fire versus a black hole matchup. Whoa, crazy stuff. Alright, first few turns, you folks know the deal. We have our standard infantry builds all the way up to like day 5. Alright, on day 5, we see a recon coming out from the Sturm player's base. It has already reached all the way up here in 1 turn. Insane. Very, very insane movement. Our Hawke player has also built a recon, but as you can see, its movement cannot go as far as the Sturm's going because of that day-to-day ability. Alright, it does look like the Hawke player is now going in and capturing 3 properties. 3 properties. We got them going. The chains are happening. Now, the Sturm player. Now, we are moving up with a lot of our infantry right now, capping one of the properties. We move our recon all the way up. All the way up. It's now sitting on the comm tower, folks. I know, on the comm tower. And it's day 6. We've already covered like half the map. Insane movement. Insane movement. Now, Thavadu, the Hawke player, we actually go in with a tank on day 6. In addition to that, we finish our cap on 3 properties, and we send our recon a little bit more forward, and we actually spot this Sturm recon right here. So that is now spotted. Sturm also comes in with a tank here and another recon of his own. He's going to have vision all around the map. We are slowly acquiring our properties. Now we're going to see what happens here. Moving the recon all the way up into enemy territories. That is some risky business, folks. You get lots and lots of intel, but that recon is going to be easily spotted. So we're going to see. Let's actually play out this turn and just actually see. Okay. So there we go. The recon was spotted. So now we can skip ahead the rest of the turn. We see that the recon is now completely surrounded by Hawke's units right here. We got 3 infantry. We have a recon right here and a tank moved into position to actually fire a devastating shot on this recon next turn. Alright, so the Sturm player moving in a few more of his units, capping a couple extra properties, moving in to capture the comm tower here pretty soon. If Sturm can get that comm tower, it's going to be very, very effective. If he can get 2 comm towers, that's going to be even better, because that'll at least make his units base firepower. Base firepower Sturm, insanely effective. Do not let Sturm get 2 comm towers. It is not going to be a good time for you. Not a good time indeed. Alright, we do build a second tank. Moving our other tank here up into position to hopefully reinforce this side by the looks of it. Our recon takes a shot at an infantry, and let's see what Thavadu does here. The Hawke player. Alright, it looks like we actually went in for a triple attack on that recon. We actually hit it with the tank, the recon, and the infantry by the looks of it here. Moving our injured infantry a little bit forward. Now, the capture game is going to be a little bit slow because of that. However, was it really worth a $4,000 unit? I don't know. I don't think so. Now, we did get a little bit of intel, but, you know, intel of the early builds isn't really going to do too much for it. Now, what we do is we move in the rest of our infantry up north here. We now have 4 infantry primed and ready to go up north. We have 1 that's actually ready to cap this property. The comm tower, we have a second one down south capping the comm tower. It looks like that is going to be uninterrupted. Yeah, it looks like the tank is out of range. Infantries are out of range. The only way we would be able to get this is if we rush this guy all the way forward. Then maybe the recon. No, the recon is actually out of reach too. So it looks like that comm tower capture is going to go unchallenged. Alright, we do spot the other recon though. Like I said, bringing your recon sat forward is some pretty risky stuff for sure. Maybe hiding your recons down in these forests, or maybe this one here, might be a little bit better for you. Might work out a little bit better. Now, however, that was the play that happened, so we just got to roll with the punches, right? Can't let it deter us too much. Now, let's see what actually happens from the Sturm player here. So, rush ahead, start capping a couple properties, interrupt the cap on the comm tower. Now, I don't know if I would have rushed this tank all the way up here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Halloween's coming up soon, folks. Happy Halloween. Okay, so yeah, I probably would have kept it down here. I think it's a little bit too risky to bring it up here. I feel like it might get first struck by something. However, it does look like it's gonna be safe, but still kind of a risky move. Alright, well, let's carry on here. Now, we continue capping a couple properties here down in the south. It looks like we are up north, capping a couple properties, bringing our recon back to sit on a city, get some repairs on that. Building a anti-air unit, tank, and infantry, expecting those battle copters. Now, it's always, always, always important to make sure that you build an anti-air unit. At least roughly around like day, I would say 8 to 11 for sure. Depending on the state of the map, but by day 8 to 11, you should definitely have at least one anti-air on the field, because you know those battle copters are definitely going to be. And if your opponent decides to actually battle copter spam you, and you have no anti-air units, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a bad time, folks. You got to make sure that you prepare. Now, it does look like we're getting some first strikes on infantries, and it looks like the recon is actually going to follow up an attack. Now, I don't know if it was actually the Hawke player's intention to completely take this infantry out right away, or if it was an afterthought. One thing you always want to make sure that you do when you're planning out your attacks is you take the path of attacks that's going to give you the least amount of counter damage. Now, if we actually went in with this recon and attacked this infantry first, this infantry would have came out undamaged, right? So, one thing to be aware of with that, for sure. Alrighty, so we do double up the attack, and it looks like we're going in, doing more damage to Sturm infantries up top. Join capping the comm tower, where you're going to make sure that we get that comm tower. Very important stuff to do so, folks. Very important. Now, it looks like if we actually didn't join cap right there, it is quite possible that we would have lost the comm tower cap. And that would have been very, very bad to have happen against Sturm, especially with Sturm having 120% defense. Now, it's very important that Hawke get that 120% offense from having the comm tower as well. Alright, so carrying on, we moved a couple more units forward. It does look like this tank is in a nasty position right now. Comm tower is sitting at 5. Unless we actually double up that attack, he's going to get the comm tower. It might be a smart idea at this point to actually move this tank back. Possibly bringing it up here to maybe take a strike at this infantry, I think would be a good plan. We'd be able to get it out of harm's way, and then next turn bring it down here to join up with our artillery that are coming up right now. I think that would probably be a good idea. However, we're going to go down and strike the recon instead. Alright, so we take a big hit on the recon, completely taken out with a double tank hit. Not a bad move. We do make sure that that kill is definitely secured. So now, Hawke is going to be without vision up in the north. So, not a bad move. Now, considering that this artillery is open right now, I'd probably bring this infantry up here to sit right here. Just to make sure if Hawke has vision, and if he actually manages to have something in range, like this tank here, that artillery is definitely defended. Doesn't look like we're going to move, though. Okay. So we spot a capping infantry in the north, moving down to cap a couple more properties, stopping a cap on a city, taking a counter damage from an infantry to our tank. That's something that you hate to see, folks. Alright, getting a 5-7 trade on the road there. It looks like artillery is moving into a fort to get a little bit closer. A couple more infantry moving forward. And we got our first battlecopter on the map, folks. We got a battlecopter, a tank and infantry, and a recon. They are on the field, ready to go. Now, I know for certain that that recon build was because our Hawke player actually lost their recon. So it's very important to always have vision. Now, you can scout out a lot of stuff with infantry and tanks, but just having the additional vision of a recon can really make or break a game in Fog of War. You want to always make sure that you optimize your vision. And especially on a map like 1 versus 1 Bardoon here, where we have no mountains to, rely on with infantry. Get that extra vision. Definitely want to get those recons on the field, folks. All right, it looks like we're taking a very defensive position now as the Sturm player. This is something that you definitely want to be doing as Sturm. You want to death ball your units up as much as you can. Clump them up with those artillery units, those indirects. Slowly push forward your line. Your opponent is not going to be able to break a 120 defense very easily. Now, if you have a lot of artillery units to back that up, you know, you're going to have a very good time. That's for sure. Alright, it does look like the Hawke player has taken out Sturm's recon down south, moving tanks back to get healing. Refortifying a nice little infantry line up in the north here. Builds a medium tank. Classy gentleman up there. Classy gentleman. Alrighty, so things are looking pretty good there. It does look like our Hawke player is a little bit behind in funds, but it looks like we are going to be able to cap a property. Perhaps 2. Does look like it might be 2. Most likely 2. So we are going to actually jump ahead in properties here, while the Sturm player is kind of struggling to get a couple properties right now. And the unfortunate thing here is we have our death ball right by a huge chunk of Hawke units right here. So it's going to be actually very hard to push that death ball forward, especially with that looming threat of danger. Right there. So let's see what Sturm decides to do. It looks like we are going to be moving forward. We are going to secure us a kill. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's think about this. So we move into recon. That's okay. I think the recon is probably a smart move here to make sure that we guarantee that kill. But this tank, bringing the tank up, not sure if I agree with that one. We could have easily just brought this infantry up to pop a shot at this one. And then if our intention is actually to camp the comm tower, we can begin to camp with this infantry right here. And more than anything, we could actually just take a shot here as well. Alright, AA moving in to actually stop the cap there, but is it enough? I don't... No, it's not enough. It's not enough, unfortunately, unless we're going to back it up with this tank hit right here. Let's see if that's going to be the intention. Oh, no, 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 no. Haha! No. Yeah, I would have just left that 4 HP infantry. If we're going to attack any infantry up here, we got to stop this one right here. Stop that cap from happening. We do not need that. And it looks like we have another fusion here, folks. We got an artillery and an infantry together, fused once again. Now, I believe that probably happened because... actually, I don't know. Maybe he moved up here and got trapped. Ah! Boy. I think that's right. Alright, whatever. Things happen. Alright, in the south, we do have some damage going too. Now, unfortunately, it does look like in the south we have no vehicle reinforcements. And Hawke does have 2 tanks down there. Alright, so very interesting. I'm so curious. So curious to see what's going to happen with this attack here. Alright, we pushed up pretty far into the lines. We have quite a few exposed units. Now, this tank definitely should not have gone full. This tank taking the shot here, I'm kind of debatable too. You probably could have just doubled up an infantry attack there as well. Now, I definitely wouldn't have brought those guys up. Definitely keep them in the back. Alright. Hawke, let's see what you got. The medium tank is rolling in. Ah! Ooh, beginning a cap on a city up north. Taking out a lot of the infantry here. We're going to get a double hit on this tank by the looks of it. Ooh, big double hit. Now, I think I see why he went for the hit here because of the extra defense bonus, but I think... Even if we don't see the artillery, I think it would have been a lot safer to take it from the road. Now, I know what you're thinking. You got no defense on the road. But I feel like it would have been better. Because if we took it from right here, The only spot that these tanks would have been able to be attacked from would have been right there. And we still have this artillery to defend that spot. So, whenever you make your moves, you want to always think about a couple different levels of attack. Like, why am I placing this unit here? And how can it be defended? Now, it does look like we actually went up and confirmed the kill with the recon. However, I'm still gonna say we should have taken the shot from here. This just kind of makes it a little bit risky for that tank. Now, maybe Hawke's plan was a lot better than mine. Stick. Alrighty, let's see what happens next here. Double tank and an infantry. Not exposing our anti-air too. That is very, very smart. Oh, and it looks like we brought one of our tanks up a little bit closer here. Most likely that tank actually got trapped by the looks of it. Yeah, more than likely that tank got trapped. Alright, so we have some heavy damage going on with these artillery right now. We take two big shots. Getting a cap on a city down in the south with an 8 HP unit. 8 HP infantry. Stopping the cap on the lab to take a shot with an infantry. Smart move. You don't really need that lab. It's not really going to be helping you in the long run. So doing the extra damage, yeah, sure. I can see that. Oh, big interrupt on the city up north with the anti-air unit. Now, hopefully we bring this anti-air a little bit forward to contend with the battlecopter once that finally arrives. See, this is one of the most annoying things is playing as Sturm too. Your units are just so weak that you just can't finish anything off. You have a whole bunch of like units just sitting around with like 2 HP, 3 HP, 1 HP. Everything that you hit's at 6 or 7 HP. It gets old really fast. That's why you really need that meteor strike to hit somewhere effective. So then your decreased firepower is not really going to matter very much. Oh, and we have a classy fellow down in the south there. We see another medium tank on the field. Ooh, Sturm, Meredith. Classy. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Alrighty. Alrighty, Hawke, let's see what we got here. We have a bunch of injured units here. We do have a black wave ready to go. Now let's see if we're going to pop it or not, if we're going to hold out for the big damage. Ooh, big hit on the tank, taking it out. Ooh, it does look like we're losing quite a few infantry again up north. Even if they are injured infantry, they are defending those artillery units. We need to keep those artillery alive. Well, it looks like our friend Hawke is actually bringing forward the tanks that were down south. They are going to be joining the fight up north here as well. So we got 20,000 funds. We're pretty close to a meteor strike. I wonder if we're going to see another medium tank build. No, we're not. Okay, we got double tanks, so we're not going to set up for a meteor bait just yet by the looks of it. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by meteor bait here, what a lot of people like to do when they're fighting against a Sturm is they will do, well, they'll do a couple different things, but they will try to accumulate what it's called a meteor bait, or missile bait, right? So what a lot of people like to do is on a map like this, you want to keep your front line a little bit spaced out, but still engaged, still doing damage, still ready to go. And you want to buy like 2 medium tanks. You want to buy 2 medium tanks, you want to stick them in the back line, sitting on some cities or something, so that when that meteor strike is popped, the meteor goes down, hits the 2 medium tanks, leaves your front line alone. If your front line gets hit by a meteor strike, well, that's basically GG. It is insanely hard to come back from getting hit by a meteor strike in an area where you are not expecting. Now, speaking of things that were unexpected, it looks like Sturm is now bringing a tank down south to contend with some of those infantry. Well, we're just doing heavy damage too, although we are getting super close to that Black Storm. Super close to the Black Storm. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. Leaving one of our artillery exposed too. So if this Black Storm hits this turn, it'd be very bad. Oh, we are gonna go for it. Ooh. Now, curious. So we see that we were actually 80,500 from the Black Storm, right? What we could have done. Now, what I'm thinking. What do we got here? What I probably would have done in this situation is I probably would have actually just brought this recon over here and just taken the shot at this recon. Yeah. So, bring this recon, bring it right over here, take a shot at this recon, and then pop your Black Storm. Now, the reason being is after you do that, your recon is going to be healed up fully. This recon is going to be even further injured, and this artillery down here is going to be brought down to 8 HP, which more than likely, this tank moving up to take this shot at this artillery would have actually been a one-shot. Well, maybe not a one-shot, but we would have been able to get it down quite a bit. Could possibly be a one-shot. I don't know. You know what? Damage calculator. Somewhere. There. Now we know. Alrighty. So carrying on. Now, Hawke got a whole lot of healing from that. And a whole lot of healing that you wouldn't even really expect because we have a lot of injured units, right? So they all got popped up, hyped up for 2 HP, and we just took down a huge chunk of Sturm's armor. Huge chunk. And that is going to open up the floor for a lot of Hawke's units to move in, taking quite brutal shots. Now, it does look like the way that Hawke went about taking his attacks, it did cause a lot of massive damage. Tons and tons of damage. So, yeah, not really too much to complain about. So even if I would have done something a little bit differently, it does look like Hawke still had an effect. Alright, so Meteor Strike. Where is the Meteor Strike going to go? And it's going to hit the bait. Alright, so these 4 units right here have just been struck by the Meteor Strike. You can't see it now, but they are all sitting down at 2 HP. Savage. Randy Savage. Okay. So, bringing a lot of our infantry over to get some healing. Bringing our medium tank down to get healing. Moving an infantry up a little bit farther. It does look like there's not really anything else we can do with that infantry. So, we're just going to try to get some intel by the looks of it. We're going to see what's happening. Spot a tank on the way, so it's like, okay, well, I guess we know that there's probably like 3 tanks up in the front and a tank coming. So, there's probably going to be some tanks. Now, one thing you can also know is that if you are playing a Sturm and you pop your Meteor Strike and you see the Meteor hit somewhere in the back lines, just somewhere in the back lines and not the front line, you can assume that your opponent just built Meteor Bait, which is probably 1 or 2 medium tanks. So just know that it's only a matter of time before those medium tanks, 1, get healed up, and 2, are coming for you on the front lines pretty soon. So, be aware of that. They will be coming, that's for sure. Alright, and as we can see, those medium tanks are moving in. We are getting some heals. Looks like we are spreading out our units right now. Possibly planning out some sort of maybe a pincer strike of some sort. I'm not sure, but we are bringing our units back. We're not going to be pushing into Sturm's line right now, by the looks of it. Alright, so even after the Black Wave and the Meteor Strike, it looks like the values are fairly even. Although it does look like Hawke has a lot more presence on the map right now. We are much more spread out, and it looks like we are in a good spot to grab a couple properties, and we are actually already ahead on the properties too. Sitting at 21. 21. Ooh. That's pretty good. Now, Sturm, you know, he's a fighting man. He's not going to go out without a fight. You know, Sturm, he doesn't resign. He keeps fighting until you destroy the, Sturm, he just keeps fighting until you destroy that laser, okay? You know, you only got 30 days. He can hold out for 30 days. Unless the opponent has an eagle and a column. Then you probably don't. No, it's just not gonna happen. Alright. Alright, it looks like we're gonna have 2 6 HP medium tanks next turn. And, okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead. It looks like we're just kind of shimmying our units around a little bit here. But definitely spreading it out, going for that map control at the moment here. Let's see. So Sturm moves the medium tanks in a little bit forward, starting to rebuild our death ball. Builds a rocket, actually, and you can see the movement on this rocket here. We can whiz up a whole 5 spaces. So Sturm rockets are actually a fairly good unit for sure. They can definitely motor their way to the front lines. Super quick. Super quick. So they're going to get there. Alright, so does look like it's just it's Death Ball City up here for Sturm. Alright, so Hawke has moved in. We are starting a capture on 1 property, the comm tower, 2 properties. 2 properties in the comm tower. And the lab, but you know, the lab is probably just a ruse. Alright, let's see. Are we going to move in? Yeah, we got to interrupt the cap, so we're going to at least stop that cap right there. Are we going to try to stop the comm tower as well? Alright, so we do interrupt the comm tower. Now, this is a very, very good strategy here, I think, from the Hawke player. So we know that we just did massive damage, and we're not going to be rushing in to fight Sturm. We're not. We're going to play it cool, conservative, cautious, take our time, right? So by doing these little proxy fights here, going for like 1 or 2 properties at a time while having units to defend those properties, it is going to make Sturm use a lot of units to actually interrupt those caps, which will leave those units vulnerable to attack. Now, unless what we do is if you go in with 3 units here, I would say one option that you could do is actually move your entire force down here to defend that spot, because you know that Hawke is going to be rushing in with a couple units to hit those infantry. But if you have like all these indirect units right here, and the rocket and the tanks, he's not going to be able to do that. And he might rush in like 1, 2, maybe 3 units, and you're just going to be able to take them out, right? So definitely using your mobility with this death ball is the way to go here. So let's see if anything else does happen. Are we going to move that death ball? Because one issue too is Sturm knows, or not Sturm, Hawke knows that Sturm has a death ball. And the map is so small that there's only 1 spot right now that he knows the death ball could be. So he's not going to rush in there. He's definitely going to take his time. Alright, so not much else happens in that move there. It looks like we have moved a little bit forward. So we're going to see what sort of a counter attack is going to be launched here. You got a transport copter on the map now too. Very nice. Going to get those infantry rushed up to the front lines. Pretty darn tootin'ly quickie. Okay, here we go, here we go. Creeping our way forward up there. And see, this is what I mean, right? You know, you go up, you take a few shots, and then those infantry just die. And you have nothing really to defend against that. We definitely should have brought that death ball up a little bit closer. Alrighty. Alright, so nothing else really happens there. It does look like our Hawke player is ahead by quite a few units now. I believe that is like 8 units. We're going to see, does Sturm do anything to counter this? It looks like we are going to attack a recon. Okay, so we're going to attack the recon. So like I said, if we're going to be bringing in a tank to do an attack like that, then we got to back up that tank. We have to move this death ball down here. Moving the death ball down here will secure that our tank survives and the Hawke player does not really push up into that area. And that would actually leave us in a pretty good position to just bring this death ball over here and just claim that area for ourselves, right? Alright, are we going to move the death ball north? Okay, let's just skip ahead here. So it does look like we're going to bring it a little bit north. But it just, like, Hawke just has so much presence here. It's just like, it's just everywhere. Oh my lord. Kind of spooky. Definitely kind of spooky here. Alright, let's continue on. Alright. Jesus, Lord have mercy. Ah! The injured recon moves all the way in, spots the death ball, gets a bunch of intel there. Oh, Lord. Medium tank moves in, takes the shot at the little tank as well. Continuing pressure on that comm tower, too. Ooh, and taking nice hits up north. Hasn't spotted... Oh, no, we do spot the medium tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This medium tank could actually take a shot at this medium tank. Although, we do see 2 medium tanks, so, I mean, I don't know if that's really a necessarily good idea to go up there with our only medium tank up north right now. I feel like this is just a shimmy turn. Okay, so yeah, we do move a couple of our units up here. Took lots and lots of shots up there. Just applying the pressure. We're like 40, 35k ahead right now. Getting nice shots with the rockets, though. We got triple rockets on the field. So if classy gentlemen make a medium tanks, I wonder who makes rockets. That's a good question. All right. So I like this move here a little bit. We do move the medium tanks up and do a bunch of damage here. We are backing it up by 2 indirect units. The rocket he is here. Its artillery is here, although we're not protecting this square right here, which I'm not a huge fan of. But we're going to see if we actually do something about that. Alright, nice. We did manage to take out the infantry on the city, or was that a tank? Tank on the city. And passing the turn over. Alrighty. So, we did manage to level the playing field a little bit here. We're now only 2 units behind. Does look like Hawke has triple medium tanks on the field. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, we did not yield the comm tower just yet. Alright, so bringing our 2 1 HP units back. And moving forward, taking a big shot on that medium tank with our medium tank and the battlecopter. In this instance, I probably would have attacked with the battlecopter first and then attacked with the medium tank. I think we would have been a little bit more effective doing it that way. However, this works. So nothing wrong with that. Ooh, transport copter moving in to deliver this infantry, like super close to the front lines here too. Ooh, we're taking heavy damage down the south, and we got a black wave. 1 HP, global damage everywhere. Boom. Oh, devastating. So I wonder if because we got a black wave, if we're going to see a mini meteor strike here pretty soon. Oh, we do spot double rockets now with our other recon, so we know there's lots of recons, or not lots of recons, lots of recons. There's lots of rockets, folks. Lots of rockets on the field. This is a pretty risky push coming from our Hawke player, too. Let's just skip ahead, because I don't think any more damage really happens there. We just had a few more attacks, that's about it. A few more movements. Okay, I am super curious here, because we got a lot of indirect shots happening. Let's see what happens. Indirect shot number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Well, it's an indirect, but 5th hit. 6, 7, 8. 8 clean hits before the direct combat even starts. Well, 7 clean hits before the direct combat even starts. Alrighty. That's pretty good. Now, it doesn't look like we really finished off too many units, but we did do tons of damage, so that was very nice. Oh, the meteor strike is coming pretty soon. Alright, looks like we do got a nice little meteor bait up here again, so we're not going to really have to worry about the meteor strike up in the front lines unless we push our units like super, super close to each other. And the Hawke player doing a nice, good idea here, just sort of not going for the comm tower right away too, realizing that there's a threat in front of him and not going for it right away. I think that's a pretty smart play. Alright, the rest of this is going to be pulling back. So it does look like we did start the cap with an injured infantry starting to cap down here as well. Very smart doing 2 caps at the same time. Well, let's see. We are probably going to be having a meteor strike. Meteor strike is here, and where are we going? Hits the meteor braid down by the base once again. As we can see, we do see the 2 HP damage now. 2 HP, 2 HP remaining now. So, yeah, it's good stuff. We do have the indirect hits happening again. Very nice. Very good stuff. Yeah, those rockets and artillery are really, really doing some damage. Really, really holding the game together for our friend Sturm. Oops. Alright, let's see what happens next. So Hawk's moving in, scouting, sees an artillery up north. Almost finished capping the comm tower. Does manage to get the city down south. So now we're sitting far, far ahead. I think that's like a 6 property difference right now. So it's really not looking good for our friend Sturm. No, are we going to be fighting into this line? No. Okay, so let's skip ahead. It does look like we are just going to refortify ourselves down here. And we have lots and lots of combat that just happened up north. We have a lot of injured units. Alright, let's see the indirects do their thing again. We have some heavy, heavy damage going on with these indirects. Alright, we do manage to secure our comm tower once again. Sturm is not going to be giving up that comm tower. We have secured it. It's still in our possession. Alright, skipping ahead. Alright, day 25 has rolled in here, and it looks like it's actually not really that much of a difference right now. Now, the issue now is that our friend Hawke, he is going to be getting another black storm or black wave pretty soon, way before our friend Sturm actually gets one. So that's not going to be too good. I think we've done our turn. Okay, so we just move around a little bit. So one thing that is very important that I find when you're playing Fog of War, if you're going to be playing the Death Ball game, you got to keep that Death Ball sort of just like moving around slightly. You can't let your opponent like know where you are. You've got to keep them guessing. Alright, that's a shimmy turn. We built 2 tanks, and we're just building our fire armies right now. We have heavy presence with a lot of heavy firepower. Battlecopters in the south, anti-air in the north. Is there anything else you need? No. Attack. Ah! Thanks, Olaf. Just Olaf things, you know? This is a shimmy turn. We're just going to skip that one ahead. We're going to skip this one ahead, too. We're going to skip this one ahead. Alright, we do have Sturm attempting to reclaim a city right now. And our units are pretty even, so we're going to skip ahead again. And what are we going to do, Sturm? Okay, so we're going to double up. Okay, so we're not going to finish the cap on the property. We're going to attack the infantry, trying to clear out units as best as we can. Now this line in the south looks okay, but I feel like it's pretty exposed a little bit here. Looks like we are exposed in the middle. I feel like the middle could be hit pretty hard. But with the amount of indirect units that Sturm has, I'm not sure how badly it could be hit. Okay, let's see. Are we going to go in this turn? Or are we going to wait? Okay, we're going to wait. So we shimmy our units forward a little bit more, creating the big lines across the map. I've never actually seen Verdun have this many units without getting into a stally standstill sort of game. So it's interesting that we have this many units on the field and it hasn't really become a stalemate yet. Ooh, poor infantry couldn't actually finish off that infantry on the road. Ooh, we spot the medium tank. Hate to see it. Okay, so building more rockets, so definitely going super rocket heavy. You know, classy gentlemen build rockets too, folks. It's true. You know, it's not just a medium tank thing. Okay, so we got a black wave ready again. Are we gonna pop the black wave, or are we gonna wait for a black storm? Well, we are definitely moving in though. Up north, we have heavy damage going. Oh, and it looks like we are attacking down south too. Oh, there goes that infantry I was talking about. The line has broken. And we are going in. Oh god, and we got the black wave. 1 more HP damage globally. And we get all that healing, all that counter damage we just took. Been healed up. And we are moving in. Devastating hits. We're hitting like almost every indirect unit. Oh no. Sturm, that's so painful. I'm sorry, buddy. Hawke is just not wasting any more time. Like, it's day 30. He's like, I gotta end this. Gotta end this now before Sturm gets any more indirect units. Alright, what are we gonna do against this? We're gonna double double rocket the medium tank. And we're gonna start firing on the other medium tank. We're gonna meteor strike. Oh, that's a good meteor strike right there. So it only did 4 HP of damage, but we hit a huge chunk of units. So we got lots and lots of value out of that one. Yeah, lots of nice hits happening. Alright, I feel like the rest of this is just going to be shimmying. So we moved our units forward a little bit. We did do massive damage here. However, it does look like our line is just broken a little bit too much here. So unfortunately, I don't think the meteor strike is going to be enough. I feel this might be the end of the road for our friend Sturm. However, he did put up an admirable fight, but I don't see the comeback potential here. But maybe. I don't know. We're going to see where this bomber goes. I'm super curious to see where the bomber goes. Oh, we're going south with it. Okay. Yeah, just cleaning up house with all those indirect units here. And finishing off a few more indirect shots. Almost taking out that recon. Pretty close. Would have been nice. Sturm is just holding out too. We do have tons of rockets though, so if the Hawke player does move into rocket range, all willy-nilly, it's definitely possible we can do some damage with that. However, I just, where is this bomber gonna go? I need to know. I got PTSD from bombers from the Canby Cup recently, where my opponent decided to hide a bomber the entire game and just popped him out at the very last second so that I wouldn't win. Okay, bomber is gonna move down here. All right, so we have clarity. We know. Alright, so day 32 already. And we have the rockets firing. Oh, we got trapped. That's no good. Alright, that's going to be a little bit more shimming. We're going to see what sort of a... Yeah, with the amount of cities we are capping right now, we're still that 6k behind. And when we're 6k behind, that is devastating, unfortunately. Now, you can continue the fight being like 3 or 4k behind. That's not really too bad. You can defend against heavy units with, like, you know, good placement of artilleries, good placement of tanks, and just effective walling, right? But when your opponent can just build heavy units and then just pop Black Storm in your face all the time, You're gonna have a bad time. Ah, this is just so bad. I'm sorry. Stupid Black Storm. See, this is why I pick Hawke all the time. Black Storms for days, folks. Alrighty, let's see what happens next. I don't think anything is actually gonna happen. We're gonna push forward a little bit. We are gonna Meteor Strike and we're gonna resign. So classy resign for sure. Definitely launch that Meteor Strike if you can before you resign. You are owed that much. You're definitely owed that much. Alright, fantastic game. This one was actually sent in by Favadu himself. He actually sent me 4 replays, so I had to choose one, right? I had to choose one. And just out of all the ones, I thought this one was kind of cool. Mainly because I've never actually featured the Sturm in Fog of War, right? So I wanted to show what he was all about. And as you can see, Sturm is incredibly effective. Incredibly effective. His walls are insanely difficult to break. His indirect units just do not die. All of his units do not die. Now, playing against somebody like Hawke, though, it's a little bit tricky because Hawke, his injured units will eventually heal up and the global damage will slowly chip away at our good friend Sturm. So, definitely a solid matchup. I enjoyed watching it. Hopefully, you all enjoyed watching it, too. And if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps me out. I've gotten a bunch of subscribers lately, and I'm so thankful for it. So, thank you very much if you're already subscribed. And if you're not, you probably should, but if you don't want to, I understand. Buttons are hard to click, but that's okay. Alrighty, you can watch anyways. It's all good. Alright, thank you very much for the submission. If anybody else has a submission they would like to have me review and play on the channel, please go ahead and send it to me on Advancers by Web. My name is Mr. Cannon. That is MR.CANNON. Send me the link in the description and I may feature you on my channel here. Alright, so just back to the game a little bit here. I do believe that one of the main issues here for why our friend Sturm did not actually come out on top was a few of our risky plays up here. We're not quite backed up as much as they should have been. This one in particular, it was this day right here where we took a lot of damage. So not really anticipating the super coming in. Definitely sort of crippled our army a bit after that. And then just the stationary death ball. That kind of really hurt us a little bit. So if we're in a position like this, what we really have to do is commit that death ball to one side. If you know your opponent has a huge army up here, maybe move your army down here to the south and start trying to take this area. Or set up in this area so that your opponent has to come to you. If you do manage to do that, then you can catch your opponent off guard while slowly sending units back up here to defend this area. But by moving that death ball down here, that may have given you the edge that you needed in order to come back in this match. All in all, though, I do believe Marith G0083, you did fantastic in the game. I don't really have too many complaints, too many things to note. Your use of rockets, holy moly! Love to see it. Any other character, I would have said, hey, no way, Jose. But, you know, Sturmy's able to move those rockets to the front line very, very quickly. Now, it is possible that you could have had sort of a similar effect with just building a lot of artillery. But artillery can't fire as far as rockets, so, you know, it's situational. But congratulations. Hopefully your future games in the Global League go well. I do see a lot of potential in your playstyle, so good luck to you. Favadu, once again, thank you for submitting. I hope to see you again soon as well. And to everybody watching, I hope to see you all again very, very soon. This has been Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon, signing out. Bye-bye for now.